Pitbull Cruz in the co-main event of a PBC pay-per-view available live on Prime Video from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The pay-per-view begins 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. It is headlined by two-time world champion Keith one-time Thurman going head-to-head against rising star and reigning world champion Tim Tszyu in the 12-round super welterweight main event. Also on the card, we have Cuban star Ed Islandi, the American Dream Lotto.
Para que no haya problemas del próximo 30 de marzo de convertirnos en nuevos campeones del mundo.
It's been a very intense training camp because we don't want anything to get in our way to achieve the objective of becoming world champion on March 30th.
All right. Thank you very much to Isaac Pitbull Cruz. We'll hear from him throughout the entirety of this virtual press conference. Now let's meet his opponent on Saturday, March 30th from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. This man with a record of 15 wins, 13 of those coming by way of knockout against one defeat. He is the reigning WBA super lightweight world champion fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, coming, and he won his world title with a stoppage win over Ismael Barroso back in May. Certainly one of the most unique personalities in the sport of boxing. He's a guy who I like to say beats to his own drum. Always been very entertaining, indeed, both inside the ring and outside the ring. Here is Rolando Rolly Romero. Rolly, how are you?
I'm great. How y'all doing? I kind of just woke up right now, so I'm a little half asleep right now.
Well, let's talk about how training camp has been. We just saw a wonderful trailer that was, released today with you going ahead and hitting a piñata, sort of signaling what you might want to do to Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I mean, is that a foreshadowing of what you hope to do on Saturday, March 30th?
I mean, of course, me, I'm always gonna go for a knockout. I'm always gonna go for a kill, I'm I don't do that boxing shit where it's like touch, touch, touch. No, I want to go pop, pop, pop,
What has the response been from the fans as you head into this matchup? We know that Isaac Pitbull Cruz is very much beloved, especially by Mexican fight fans. You're also Hispanic as well. But what have you been hearing from the fans in the lead up to this fight?
I mean, Mexicans are always gonna ride with their own. You know how they are. But they don't care if the dude loses 20 times in a row. They're still gonna ride with them. But at the end of it, it's gonna be a spectacular fight on March 30th, and you guys are gonna see it's gonna be nothing but fireworks.
All right, Rolly, we'll come back and talk with you in a few moments. We'll get back to Isaac. Isaac, for you, how do you look and assess someone like Rolando Rolly Romero?
Isaac, ¿cómo es que evalúas y ves a un oponente como Rolly Romero?
Bueno, como siempre lo he comentado, yo respeto a todos los rivales, en este caso no es la excepción. Y bueno, yo creo que por algo ha sido campeón del mundo en 2 divisiones, pero bueno, ahorita eso a mí no me importa y yo me estoy preparando para callarle la boca a golpes a Rolly Romero.
Look, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not about to underestimate or overlook anybody. Romero is a 2 division world champion for a reason. And, all I'm doing right now is getting ready to shut his mouth punch by punch. With every punch that he's gonna talk a little less.
Does he get under your skin a little bit, Isaac?
¿Te molesta lo que dice él cuando hace sus declaraciones?
No, ojalá que así como habla, pelee el próximo 30 de marzo, yo para eso me estoy preparando.
I know. I hope he fights the way he talks on March 30th. That's what I'm getting ready for.
Rolly, do you like the fact that it's not gonna be too difficult to find this guy? He's very aggressive. He's a come forward fighter, likes to throw a lot of punches and bunches. You have fought every style in the sport, but I feel like you enjoy guys that come forward to you because you do like to mix it up and go toe to toe.
I mean, shoot. I mean, you want to come at me and get cracked, and that's good. I mean, like I say, he could do all that shit with all them little dudes with no power or all that other stuff, or with broken-handed opponents, all that stuff. But I'm a big boy, and I'm the hardest hitter he's ever been in the ring with, or he's ever going to be in the ring with, because I'm the hardest hitter at my weight class. So let's say it like that.
Isaac, what's your response to the fact that he says that you've never fought anybody that hits as hard as him?
Bueno, ¿qué le responderías al hecho de que Rolly acaba de decir que nunca peleaste con alguien que pegue tan duro como él?
No, no, a mí no me importa, a mí yo estoy haciendo mi trabajo y ya vamos a ver, él tampoco ha peleado con nadie con el estilo agresivo como el mío.
I don't care one bit. I just do my own thing. And you know what? He has never fought against someone as aggressive as I am either.
Rolly, what's your response to that in regards to him saying that you've never fought anybody that brings the kind of pressure, aggression, and intensity like him?
I mean, I find those in Las Vegas all the time. So I mean, he's not that unique. He's just a come forward dude that don't stop throwing punches. You know, it is honestly probably been the easiest sparring I've ever tried to find in my life. So I mean, what I really want to know is how you're gonna find sparring from me because you can't replicate me. You can replicate him. You can't replicate me.
Why do you think that he can't replicate you when it comes to sparring wise?
I mean, I have a very unique style. I mean, I think my style goes hand in hand with my personality. So it's hard to find. It's hard to find people like me. And now you can't even replicate the power. You can't replicate the explosiveness. You can't replicate my feet. You cannot replicate anything about me. So good luck, like I said, trying to find sparring for me.
Isaac, I want to go to you. How difficult or what has been the process of you trying to find sparring partners to emulate someone who has an unorthodox style like Rolando Rolly Romero?
Isaac, acá Rolly decía que para boxeadores como vos se encuentran con frecuencia, pero boxeadores como él, con un estilo tan peculiar, que no se encuentra tan fácilmente y que justamente él ironizaba que ojalá que tenga suerte consiguiendo sparrings que tengan el mismo estilo que él, porque está seguro de que no te está haciendo fácil. ¿Cómo haces con los sparring? ¿Qué haces para encontrar a alguien del estilo similar de Rolly?
Eso no es problema, el poder encontrar por gente, exactamente como bien lo dice él, gente coyona que no le gusta pelear. Y bueno, yo me estoy preparando física y mentalmente para ganarle.
¿Qué significa coyona? Como
No
así
sea
va.
cobarde.
You know what? Like, it's actually not a hard thing at all to find people like him to spar with. What cowards that don't really like to fight? I can find that anywhere.
Rolly, cowards that don't like to fight.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that to me. But I mean, like I said, we'll see March 30th. You know who the real coward is. Like I said, all I gotta do is crack him once or twice, and then he's not gonna come forward no more.
All right, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the media. I know that there are a lot of media members from around the world that have questions for both the champion, Rolando Rolly Romero, and the challenger, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. With that, I'm going to turn it over to one of our distinguished PR personnel, Andrew Roberts. If you have questions, raise your hand. And then when we call upon you, unmute yourself, say your media affiliation, and ask your question to both Rolando Romero and Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Andrew, it's all you.
Thanks very much, Ray. Appreciate it. Our first media question is going to come from Cam Buford with Voice of the Fans. Cam, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Hey, man. I got a question for both of you guys. The first question is, when you envision this fight, how does this fight play out in your minds? That's a question for each of you guys.
Rolly, go ahead. Shut it off, please.
Knockout. I'm gonna knock him out. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna get hit, and he's gonna get knocked out. With any punch, honestly, he gets hit with everything. So yeah.
Bueno, Isaac, la pregunta de cambio fue para vos, es cuál es tu visión de esta pelea, cómo la vas a afrontar. Acá Rolly dice que va a ir por el knockout, que le quiere noquear sí o sí. ¿Vos qué decís?
Está bien, a ver quién sale noqueado.
Okay, Rolly, let's see who gets knocked out. Really, who gets knocked out first?
My second question, thank you guys, is Rolly, specifically for you. What have you focused on specifically in this training camp, targeting Isaac Cruz? Like, have you changed anything up? Are you doing anything specific for this guy you're fighting?
My trainer for this fight is like 5 foot. So yeah.
All right. Thanks very much for those questions, Cam. And I'm sorry, I should have said before we started with media, if we could please limit it to one question per fighter, per media member, it'll help us get to everyone. Our next media question is going to come from Hector Cantu with Fox Deportes. Hector, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Hi, Joel. Mi pregunta es para Isaac Cruz. Isaac, te mando un fuerte abrazo. Quería preguntarte cuáles son específicamente las cosas que tanto tú como tu campamento consideraron para tratar de encontrar un sparring lo más similar posible a Rolando Romero.
¿Me puedes repetir un poquito la pregunta? ¿Se cortó, por favor?
Y no te preocupes, Isaac. ¿Cuáles son las características que tanto tú como tu equipo de trabajo consideraron más importantes para encontrar al sparring más similar a Rolando Romero?
Pues fueron todos bueno, fue una serie de muchos artefactos, tomando en cuenta sus virtudes, sus cualidades, sus fortalezas y sus debilidades. Sobre de ello estuvimos trabajando.
The question from Hector was, what kind of factors do you take in mind to choose someone as a sparring that's similar to Rolly's style? And Isaac said that it wasn't just one thing; it was a variety of things that we went over as a team. Everything from his strengths to his weaknesses to his approach inside the ring, and that's how we came to a conclusion.
All right. Thank you for that translation, Martin. Hector, did you have a question for Rolly?
Sí, sería la misma pregunta, Rolly,
Ah,
también es que consideraron.
Rolly, same question for you.
Sí, no, yo entiendo español.
La pregunta, Rolly, es también qué aspectos consideraron en tus sparrings para tratar de encontrar a alguien muy similar a Isaac Cruz.
No, no fue difícil. Hay mucha gente con el mismo estilo de él que vienen para adelante. Tú sabes, tú vas a Los Ángeles, ahí están todos, $100 para cogerle un vuelo que venga para acá.
Rolly, do you want to translate yourself, or do you want me to translate? Say the same
No,
thing.
I just said, he asked me if it was difficult for me to find sparring for Pitbull, and I was just like, yeah, no, it's easy. All you gotta do is go to Los Angeles and pay $100 and they'll fly them out over here, and they're right here. So.
All right, perfect. Thank you for those questions, Hector. Our next questions are going to come from Abraham Gonzalez with Fights Around the World. Abraham, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Gentlemen, how you doing? First question is for Rolly. What are some of the things that Ismael Salas has brought out of you that maybe hadn't been brought out before?
Well, the thing is, with Salas, I used to train with Salas before I turned pro, and literally right before, literally like a week before I got signed to Floyd. So I mean, it just felt good going back to basics and what made me me, you know. So Ismael Salas is a tremendous trainer, and he's a Hall of Fame trainer. He's had so many champions, you know, and honestly, I feel more comfortable being back with him.
Okay. And then for Isaac Cruz, for a while, you were hoping that the title shot would come at 135 pounds. It's at 140. How has the adjustment been in regards to the weight cut and training for a fighter that is at a weight class higher than what you were accustomed to?
Bueno, Isaac, obviamente estuviste esperando la oportunidad de pelear por el título en las 135 libras, se te da en las 140. ¿Cómo has hecho para manejar tanto el peso como todo lo que conlleva el subir de categoría y pelear por el título en las 140 libras?
Sí, totalmente. Nosotros estábamos esperando la oportunidad en 135, no se nos pudo dar ahí, se nos presentó en 140 y bueno, fue una adaptación muy buena y bueno, los cambios fueron muy exactos y muy específicos y el plan de trabajo también muy en específico y nos sentimos muy contentos con el desempeño de trabajo en el equipo ahora en el campamento.
Like you said, we were waiting for the opportunity at 135. It didn't come. I'm glad it comes at 140. And I can guarantee you that me and my team, we have a very good plan that encompasses everything you said, from the weight to the strategy to everything that we need in order to be successful on March 30th.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for those questions, Abraham. Our next question is going to come from Big Fight Weekend. Please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi, my question goes to both fighters. What are you hoping to do should you walk away with a win on March 30th?
Me go back to some tropical islands, have fun, 2, 3 at a time, going on a few nice vacation. I think I'm long overdue for a vacation right now.
Isaac, la pregunta es, ¿qué tendrías pensado hacer si ganás el título, si te coronas como campeón? ¿Qué sería tu plan a futuro?
Pues en poderme enfrentar a los mejores de la división y ahorita en este punto está enfocada nuestro trabajo y nuestra mente en quitarle el lobocón y el cinturón a Rolly Romero.
First things first, let's shut Rolly Romero's mouth, shut that loud mouth up, and then take that belt away from him. And then moving forward from that, let's go after the best in the division.
All right, great. Thank you for that question. Our next question is going to come from Jose Ramirez with Deportes UNC. Jose, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
¿Qué tal, Isaac? ¿Qué tal? Hello, Rolly. Isaac, nuestro colega en Los Ángeles, Rolando Sánchez, le entrevistó a Rolly. Rolly comentó que él se iba a fajar estilo tipo mexicano para esta pelea. ¿Tú crees que vaya a ser así o esperas una pelea diferente? ¿Qué nos puedes decir sobre eso? Muchas gracias, ambos.
Pues realmente yo me estoy preparando para cualquier tipo de pelea que Rolando lleve, ya sea para fajar, o ya sea para correr, ya sea para ensuciar la pelea. Yo me estoy preparando para todo tipo de pelea.
The question was about an interview that one of his colleagues had with Rolly earlier. Rolly was saying that he's gonna fight Mexican style, go out there and really put it on him like that. And Isaac was saying that regardless of what Rolly does, Mexican style or any kind of style, he's gonna be ready for whatever it comes because he's gonna have a plan for everything. ¿Tenés alguna pregunta para Rolly, José?
Sí, Rolly, ¿qué esperas tú el día 30 de marzo de parte de Isaac Cruz?
Que viene para adelante y para adelante y para adelante y coge 2 o 3 piñas por la cara y después no viene para adelante.
Gracias.
Again, Rolly, you want to translate, please?
He asked me what do I expect from Pitbull Cruz to do on March 30th. And I just said to come forward, and I hit him 2, 3 times, and he don't come forward no more.
Thanks, Rolly.
Perfect. As a reminder to the media that are with us, if you have a question, please hit that raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen there. Our next question is going to come from Adriana Noriega with ABN Sports and Fox Deportes. Adriana, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Hi, everyone. My question is the same for both of you guys. At this point, there's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of talking. Has this fight become more personal to you? And if so, besides that personal motive, what does a victory over the other fighter do for your career?
No, I can't take this fight personal. This fight isn't personal. I mean, Pitbull, he's a tough fighter. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna come fight. And he's not mixing in with any of the bullshit on social media or any of that stuff. He's come here just to fight, and that's the fight. It's not personal. It is strictly business, And like I said, it's gonna be a good fight. March 30th. It's gonna be an explosive fight.
Isaac, la pregunta de Adriana era si tomás esta pelea de una manera personal, si es algo más que simplemente una pelea para vos. Y entonces y Rolly decía que él no lo toma de forma personal, para él es un negocio, él sabe que vos no estás en las redes sociales diciendo cualquier tipo de mierda, ni todo, vos venís a pelear. Entonces, para vos, ¿esta pelea es algo personal o estás de acuerdo con Rolly?
No, de ninguna manera. Yo creo que siempre la rivalidad deportiva va a existir y en este caso no ha sido la excepción. Y bueno, yo en lo personal tampoco lo he tomado personal y yo me estoy preparando para que sea una rivalidad deportiva.
Look, I also don't take it personally because the rivalry inside the ring, it's always gonna exist, and I'm getting ready for that to to really put on a show with that rivalry on the line, which I do take seriously. But I do not take anything else personally on my side. ¿Y qué significaría para tu carrera esta victoria?
Pues es la llave para las grandes peleas.
And Adriana, as far as what your second question was, what will it mean for his career? It will be the key that will open the door to the biggest fights for me.
Great. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
All right, thank you, Adriana. Our last media questions are going to come from Andrew Jones with the Bliav Network. Andrew, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Thanks, Dr. Andrew. As always, first for Rolly, you gave the concern for Ryan Garcia over the past week, but then last night on Spaces, he went and tried to say that you sucked as a fighter. So your thoughts on if you would give Ryan any more of at least well wishes after those words? And you're an Akira Toriyama fan. Any thoughts on your favorite episode of DBZ?
Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. You know, I mean, he's one of the legends. You know, like actually rest in peace. You know, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. You know, and he like paved the way to a lot of great animes growing up. You know, to like I said, Dragon Ball Z. It's one of the greatest shows of all time. But as far as Ryan Garcia, I mean, I'm fighting a much more exciting fighter right now. Why do we even care what the hell he has to say? I mean, at the end of it, he's going through stuff. He doesn't even know who the hell he's who's with him and against him. So like, I mean that's on him. You know, like I said, we got a massive fight that we're gonna do right here, March 30th. He's still butthurt that I didn't fight him, and I decided to give Pitbull over here the opportunity to fight, and he can go fuck off. So yeah.
And Pitbull, want to ask you, with you going the back-to-back trash talk to Rolly, is Rolly the most annoying fighter that you've had to face? And are you a Knicks fan with that hoodie that you have right there? Thank you.
Bueno, dos preguntas. La primera, Isaac, es, ¿acaso Rolly es el oponente más molesto que has tenido considerando la cantidad de cosas controversiales que dice?
No, de ninguna manera. Sabemos que en cualquier momento podían aparecer este tipo de peleadores. Y bueno, no es la excepción Rolly. Y bueno, ya habíamos tenido en diferentes ocasiones tipos similares a Rolly que siempre habían querido jugar así de esa manera y pues no nos importó y demostramos que pudimos ante ellos.
No way, he's not the most annoying one. I've had opponents that have been more equally or more annoying than he was, and all I did was I went out in the ring and I shut them up and I showed that talk is cheap. And, y la segunda pregunta es tu hoodie. Ahí, que tenés un hoodie de los Knicks, ¿verdad? De los New York Knicks. Te pregunta si sos fan de los Knicks en la NBA.
Pues me gusta ver el básquetbol en general, no tengo una preferencia por ningún equipo, me gusta ver todos los partidos de todos los equipos.
I'm a basketball fan in general. I like watching games from every team. I don't have a favorite team per se.
All right, perfect. Thank you for that. Thank you for those questions, Andrew.
¿Cómo tú te sientes para la pelea? ¿Bien?
Me siento fantástico, en óptimas condiciones para aguantar 12, 15 rounds, lo que tenga que durar la pelea.
Gente, necesita traer para atrás la pelea de 15 rounds, se entretiene más así, ¿no? ¿Tú no piensas?
Totalmente, si tú estás dispuesto a hacer una gran pelea y no estar huyendo, la gente se va a llevar una gran noche.
Sí, no, nosotros lo vamos a hacer la pelea del año, tú vas a ver.
Y la gente tiene que salir contenta, en lugar de que se vaya a dormir, tiene que salir con una sonrisa en su cara.
Claro.
Rolly, I'll let you do the honors if you want with that translation, or do you want me to say what you just said?
You can say it. I ain't tripping.
Okay. Entonces, so it Rolly engaged Isaac saying that, hey, you ready for this fight? Because it's going to be awesome. And then Isaac was like, hey, I'm ready for 12, 15 rounds, whatever it takes. And Rolly countered like, well, hey, if we go 15 rounds, people are going to love it, right? We got to put on a show. And Isaac was like, absolutely, let's put on a show and give the people what they want. And they both agreed this is going to be the best fight of the night, period.
Night of the year.
Of the year, yeah, you're right. Sorry about that, Rolly. Didn't mean to shortchange you there.
All right, perfect. With that, we'll wrap up the media Q&A portion. Thank you to all the media that joined us today, and thank you to both Rolly and Isak for those answers. I'm going to turn it back over to Ray Flores to wrap things up for us.
Rolly, real quick from you, is it fair to say that you have, even though, you are ready to fight Isaac Pitbull Cruz and, you get yourself motivated in your own way, that there is mutual respect between you two?
Of course, I'm gonna respect the dude. I mean, he took this fight, and I know he's not scared of me. I know for a fact he's not scared of me because he's not scared anyway. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna come fight, and he knows for a fact I ain't scared of him because if that was the case, I wouldn't have fought him because in reality, who had the final say in this fight? Me. So, like I said, it's respect. He's a tough opponent, and like this, I know everybody's over here waiting for me to shit talk and all this stuff. This really isn't a shit talking fight. This fight doesn't need to be spoken outside the ring. This fight needs to be spoken inside the ring. This is the fight that's spoken inside the ring. Like how many times you've seen all them fights? It's like, oh, they're all hyped up on social media, they're hyped up on this, on that, right? And then out of nowhere in the ring, they're the most boring fights ever. It's like, why the fuck did I waste my time watching this shit? No, this fight speaks for itself. The second we get in the ring, this fight's gonna speak for itself. So there is no lead up for this fight. This is the fight. The fight happens on March 30th on Amazon Prime pay-per-view.
Isaac, what is one final message that you would like to give to the champion, Rolando Rolly Romero, ahead of your March 30th collision?
Isaac, ¿cuál es un mensaje que te gustaría mandar, un mensaje final, hasta que lo veas de vuelta en la semana de la pelea a Rolando Rolly Romero antes de la pelea?
Nada, no tengo nada que decir más que agradecerle la oportunidad que me ha brindado y que se decidió para poderme enfrentar a mí y que, pues bueno, vamos a aprovechar esta oportunidad y que nos estamos preparando al máximo para que la gente sea la ganadora y que pueda salir muy contenta y que yo estoy listo para poderme robar la noche con Rolly Romero del próximo 30 de marzo y convertirme en nuevo campeón del mundo.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity, for giving me this opportunity, Rolly, of having this fight. And let's put on a show for the fans. Let's make sure that the fans are the true winners of the night, because I'm getting ready for it, and I'm getting ready to become a new world champion on Saturday, March 30th on Amazon Prime.
And finally, from Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Rolly, I'll end it with you. But first, for Isaac, your prediction for March 30th.
¿Cuál es tu vaticinio, tu predicción para el 30 de marzo? ¿Cómo termina la pelea?
Como Isaac convirtiéndose como el nuevo campeón del mundo.
With Isaac Cruz becoming the brand new world champion.
And we'll end it with the champion, Rolando Rolly Romero, the WBA super lightweight champion of the world. How is the fight going to end on March 30th?
With Pitbull Cruz waking up from the canvas from his dream of becoming champion.
All right. With that, I wish good luck to Rolando Rolly Romero and Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Gentlemen, we will see you in Fight Week in Las Vegas. Thank you to all the media for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next few weeks in Las Vegas as we get set for PBC Pay-Per-View on Prime Video. Rolando Rolly Romero, Isaac Pitbull Cruz for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship of the World on the line in the co-main event, the main event. It'll be Keith one-time Thurman dueling with the super welterweight champion of the world, Tim Tszyu. Do not miss it. Going to be an outstanding night of boxing. Have a great rest of your afternoon, everybody.